All right, we're almost done. Now that we've got all of our income in, it's time to look at the personal side once again to see what kind of personal deductions we can use to get our income tax as low as possible. Now, when it comes to deductions on the personal side of things, you have two options that you can use. You can use the standard deduction, or you can itemize. The standard deduction is what 98% of people use. It's just the preset amount that the IRS decides on, and every single year it's indexed for inflation. Your second option is to itemize. This is a lot like the idea of the bookkeeping template that we just used. As an individual, you're going to have certain living expenses that the IRS will let you subtract from your regular income. This will include stuff like the mortgage interest you pay on your house, the property taxes you pay on your house, medical expenses that are out of pocket and not reimbursed by insurance, and donations to charity. Now, using itemized deductions is way more work. You basically have to turn yourself into a second business and keep track of all of those expenses as you incur them throughout the year. There's also a couple limitations on the amount that you are able to deduct for certain things. There's some limits on medical expenses, there's some limits on property taxes, taxes you pay to another state, all that fun stuff. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. However, if you do it right, itemizing your deductions can save you thousands in taxes. So, which should you do? Fortunately, the software will decide for us, so let's hop back in there. All right, now that we have all of our income in, let's start going through the rest of these screens and get us on the home stretch. So if you do have any kind of these deductions right here, let's say you are a homeowner with mortgage interest right here, you made a donation, you had some out-of-pocket medical expenses, you paid some property taxes, we'll go in here, you had an investment interest. This is going to decide the difference between itemizing and taking the standard deduction. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to say that we do not have any of these expenses, but if you do have any of these, you'll check off the ones that do apply to you. FreeTaxUSA will run you through the process of figuring out your itemized versus your standard deduction and give you the bigger one, which is always the better one. Because I don't have any itemized deductions, the standard deduction is going to be best for me, and that for 2024 is $14,600 for single people. If you were married filing jointly, it would be 2 times this, and if you were head of household or one of those other ones, it would be different depending on that. Moving on, save and continue. If you did get health insurance from Marketplace, you would have gotten a 1095A. You'll want to say yes right here, and we will be saving and continuing to put it into here. I'm going to say that I do not have that. Did I contribute to an IRA? For the purposes of this video, I'm going to say no, but quick note on everything, I do realize that I'm skipping through a lot of these screens right here. That's just because in my experience, a lot of the things that FreeTaxUSA is asking don't apply to the majority of people. But that being said, if any of these do apply to you and you are confused or you have questions, you are always more than welcome to reach out to me in a DM or a school post, and I will be more than happy to help you out with any of these ones that I'm skipping over. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to say no on all of this stuff right here. I'm going to say that we do not have a self-employed retirement plan right here. I didn't have any college expenses or any student loan interest. I didn't have any teacher expenses or anything like that. This is FreeTaxUSA letting you know if you qualify for the earned income credit. This depends on your age, your number of kids that you're claiming, and how much income you had. They'll give you the reason as to why or why not you weren't able to qualify for it. In my case, it's because I had too much income, but this screen will let you know what kind of credit you're getting if you do qualify for that earned income credit. These screens will start to ask you about specific credits that you can qualify for as an individual. So if you bought any energy saving exterior doors, or you bought solar panels and you put them on your house or anything like that, you will want to say yes to this. Otherwise, I'm just going to say no. We don't have any carry forward or anything like that. I didn't pay for childcare, and these are all going to be 0 for me. Again, I skipped through all of these just because these don't apply to the majority of people, but if any of these do apply and you have questions on them, feel free to reach out to me in a DM and I will help you out. So I will just hit continue right here. This section right here is going to give you a nice long list of other deductions and credits that you possibly qualify for. Again, for the purposes of this lesson, I'm going to skip over all of these, but I would recommend going through kind of line by line, hitting this question mark, reading through here to see if you would qualify for any of these. It would all be to your benefit. And if you do qualify for any of these, FreeTaxUSA will walk you through the process. But if you have any questions or something doesn't seem right, you know what to do. Send me a DM. I'm going to hit continue and skip through all of that. This screen right here is just going to give us a summary of the deductions and credits that we just talked about. So here is that $14,600 standard deduction that I talked about. If you are a different filing status, this number will be different, or if you did end up itemizing, this number will be whatever your itemized deduction was. This number right here and this number right here, so the qualified business income deduction and the self-employment tax deduction, if you do not see either of these right here, but you did have a profit in your business, do reach out to me. That does mean that something was put in incorrectly. So if these are non-zero and your profits were non-zero, so all of your income, I'll go back to here, this number minus all of these expenses right here, if that is a positive number, so you made money during the year, and these numbers are zero, do reach out to me. That is a problem, but otherwise these will calculate automatically. I'll go ahead and hit continue. We are making great progress. Thank you very much. These will talk about more personal stuff, different kind of estimated tax payments, a bunch of random stuff, which I will get to in the next video. And just like that, we've gone through all of our income, all of our deductions, and all of our credits for our personal and business income. Now, because everyone's situation is a little bit different, I'm going to assume that you just took the standard deduction because that's what 98% of people do. But if you decided to itemize, the process is still going to be the same from here on out. And like always, if you have any questions on income, deductions, standard deduction, itemizing deductions, anything like that, you're always welcome to reach out to me in a DM, or even better, make a post in the school community so I or someone else can help you there. With all that said, in the next lesson, we're going to have a quick chat about estimated tax payments, run through the last screens of our software, and get everything together and ready to be sent off to the IRS and the states. I'll see you then.